We can use film in order to foster deep learning and change, transformative learning, getting at people's embedded assumptions about how the world works, which can often create what we call a disorienting dilemma. Life is not the way you thought it was. There's more. And some of that can be particularly disturbing, upsetting, funny, fulfilling, and the skills and the tools that we can gather from being engaged in this kind of conversation, guess what? Those skills and tools are transferable. If I have to be a better listener in order to accept somebody else's experience or to analyze policy and law, that's going to serve me in my relationships. There's an internal component of what goes on in terms of what race and racism and racial injustice is, and it expresses itself in the outer world. So this relationship between what's internal, the biases, the prejudices, of course, the unconscious bias, the internalized oppression, internalized racism, internalized superiority, and the wounds are carried forth and expressed in our interpersonal relationships. They are expressed in our family, in the places that we work. They are expressed in our institutions and embedded in our policies and laws. And they are expressed and unseen as a structure. What we want to do is, rather than have this just be an exercise, if we're talking about any topic that's hard, but today we're talking about race, it's very easy to keep it all out there. And what's important is I need to be able to place myself inside of, I'm not going to just study race. I'm living in this system and I'm impacted by it. I have to distinguish what's happening in terms of policy and law at the institutional level. And I need to have a good historical context. So all of these are things that need to be, this level of analysis is something that we need to practice, because with a topic like race, often everything is collapsed. Because truly, the goal of this film is to have an impact on how the conversation on race is usually framed within the United States, because it's extremely shallow. And we need to have more depth of understanding about the complexities of what we're dealing with that move beyond our personal feelings, but don't leave them out. This conversation, I think, is in a lot of ways an example of what happens when we get engaged in this dialogue. We don't get to finish anything. We don't get to fix anything, right? But we can be engaged in the moment. And hopefully what happens is that we begin to use the capacity to talk to one another to deepen our thinking. So I'm going to ask you to do that right now. I want you to just take a moment and reflect on what you just heard or what you just shared, and ask yourselves, do you have a new question? Is there something that you're curious about that's going to move you forward in terms of being able to grapple with such a complex topic?